Hi guys, Marian here. Welcome back to my channel and happy Hanukkah. It is Hanukkah 2020 and I am so excited to share with you guys how me and my family are going to be celebrating. So I wanted to bring you into my home and show you guys what my family's Hanukkah traditions are and how we celebrate the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Marian. I make videos about being a mom and Jewish mom, so don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you want to see me living my Jewish life every day, then don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Okay, so welcome to my home. I want to share with you guys how me and my family celebrate Hanukkah. I also think I'm going to be vlogging this year. I've vlogged every year for the past few years, which is why I'm telling you this now, because if you want to see how we've done it in the past, like day-to-day reality, I will put the links to my vlognicas down below so you can watch it happen. But I'll give you the condensed version right here, right now, as well as some tips for celebrating in your home. So let's start with the first thing I do, and that is before the Hanukkah holiday even starts, I decorate my home. I have a ton of home decor Hanukkah decoration videos, which I'll also link below about how I do it. But basically, all I'm trying to do is to bring joy and light into my home. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. I'm thinking blue, silver, gold, that's my color theme, and light and happiness, and that's what I go for. I also try to not make things that my kids can destroy, so there's not too much on the lower side of things, but this is like the fireplace area, and I'll bring you into my kitchen as well. Those are the two main areas I decorate. I also do little touches in the playrooms and maybe bedrooms sometimes, depending, but I just like to fill the home with all the feelings, senses of Hanukkah. And I usually wait till after Thanksgiving to decorate, but not every year, because some years Hanukkah is at the same time as Thanksgiving. So yes, but this year I decorated early because I'm just ready for Hanukkah. Okay, let me bring you into the kitchen to show you what happens next. So welcome to my Hanukkah kitchen. I keep the decor in here a little bit more minimalistic just so I can actually cook, because there's a lot of food to be eaten around Hanukkah time. And we're gonna get to that in a second, but first let's talk about what is the main thing you do each night of Hanukkah. And that is light the Hanukkah candles. This is the essential mitzvah of the holiday. Hanukkah is really not about going to synagogue. There's not a ton of prayers to say. There aren't even really a distinct like family meals that happen in the way that they do on Passover or on Sukkot, where it's really set up that there's a strict meal, or even on Shabbat and you have to do certain things during the meal. Hanukkah is all about this, lighting the candles. So I'm going to show you guys how to light the candles. Well, let me put it where you can see it. I'm going to show you guys how to light the candles and what prayers to say. I'll also have them written out down below. So for Hanukkah, you're going to start with your candle in the middle, or the one that's higher up in your menorah. A menorah is also called a Hanukkah. They can be interchanged. A menorah technically can also encompass a 7 candelabra holder thingy, but that's a story for another day. Either term is acceptable for Hanukkah. I usually use Hanukkah, I think. Maybe I use menorah. We'll see in this video. Let me know which one I use more often. So you put in your shamash candle. That's the one you're going to use to light the other candles. And okay, I know the camera's probably gonna flip things, but as I am facing the menorah, Hanukkah, you're going to put in the oldest candle first. You're gonna put them in right to left, and you're gonna light the newest one first. You're gonna light them left to right. So for example, here we are at the second night of Hanukkah. You're gonna take your shamash candle, light the newest one, and then the oldest one, and so down the line. Now, if it's your first night of Hanukkah, then you're going to go into your actual candlelight blessings. There are 2 main blessings for lighting the Hanukkah candles, but on the first night of Hanukkah, there's a third, which is the she-asah. So we're gonna start by saying the first blessing, which is very similar to the Shabbat candle blessings, but we're just gonna change the last word from Shabbat to Hanukkah. So it goes, Baruch, atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech, haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav etzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Lehadlik means to light, ner is candle, shel of Hanukkah. Then the second blessing that we say every night is all about the miracle of Hanukkah, and it goes, Baruch, atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech, haolam, she-asah, nisim, laavoteinu, bayamim, hahaeim, baz'man, hazeh. And this one talks all about the miracles of Hanukkah. And then the third blessing you're going to say, if it's the first night, is the she-asah, which is a traditional Jewish blessing that said anytime there's a first of something, so the first night of Hanukkah, the first time you celebrate Shabbat with a new baby, I mean, there's like an infinite number of opportunities to say the she-asah prayer, but this is a perfect one. So you start off by saying Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she-asah v'kiyamanu v'hiyanu lazman hazeh, which is thanking God for enabling us to reach this amazing day. So that is our Hanukkah candles. There's also a song for these prayers, or a melody I should say, for how they're sung. I use that melody if you watch my vlognicah, so if you're curious how they're sung in my home, check those out. So after you've lit the Hanukkah candles, another tradition of Hanukkah is to play the game of dreidel. This is a dreidel. I have a confession. I have too many dreidels. I think I have like 100 dreidels. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, this is one tiny little thing. But that's what happens when you're a Jewish YouTuber. You get sent a lot of dreidels. Anyways, the way you play is it's a kid's game. You spin the dreidel, and each of the letters means something different. You have gelt. You could use coins instead. Gelt are chocolate coins that look like this. So everybody has their gelt, and then you spin the dreidel, and it's kind of like a gambling game, but not really. But you either put some into the middle pot, you get some out, winner take all, that sort of thing. It's really fun. And these chocolate coins, which I'll open up and show you guys, is one of my favorite Hanukkah traditions. By the way, if you can open a gelt without cracking the chocolate, you're a master. That's what it looks like. This is what it tastes like. Tastes like milk chocolate. Do not get the dark chocolate gelt, people. Okay, so while the candles are burning, it's traditional to sing, to play dreidel. You might be wondering what kind of songs you sing. There's like traditional Hanukkah songs. You could just sing any songs. It's just about bringing joy and light into your home. Okay, so let's talk about Hanukkah food. The most traditional food of Hanukkah is the latke. It's really traditional to eat anything that's fried, so we also eat sufganiyot, which are donuts, fried donuts filled with jelly. They're delicious. But latkes is really the star of the show. I'll put my video down below for how to make latkes, and I also am gonna do a latke bar kind of video, I think, coming up, so stay tuned for that. But there really isn't, like I mentioned before, a set meal or a set menu that's very traditional. What we like to do in our house is kind of like a potluck style. Of course, this year will be different, but generally what I'll do is make a latke bar with all different toppings, and then I like to cook a brisket and also have like side toppings for that. I think latke and brisket is really good. So I'll ask guests to bring like sides or appetizers. I'll make the brisket and latkes, and that's usually how we do it in our house. It's very traditional to have Hanukkah parties, which are very loose, kind of. They might start at 4 o'clock and last all night long. It's not so much a sit down formal meal. So I get asked a lot for Hanukkah recipes, and there are tons, like Hanukkah desserts and that sort of thing, but there isn't one standard sit down meal that's traditional to have, or specific like courses that you would have at the Hanukkah meal. So I know that's a little confusing for people, guys. I get asked that a lot. Another tradition is to read Hanukkah books for kids. This one I talked about, or I will talk about in my next video. It's from PJ Library, which I talk about all the time. They send free books each month to Jewish children. So if you are raising a Jewish child, check that link in my bio and sign up. It's free. They send wonderful books. They're not, this is like a traditional one, but they send really new and beautiful books. They're all different, and they're very like modern and updated, inclusive, and all of that. I highly recommend PJ Library. I think I've been working with them for over a year now, so I love them, and we'd been getting their books long before that. So it's really nice. You don't have to go out and buy a ton of Hanukkah books. If you are interested in buying Hanukkah books, I do have a gift guide for kids coming up next, but you don't need to do that. You can get the free ones as well, or get them from your library. But reading about Hanukkah stories, sharing them with your children, retelling the tale of Hanukkah is a mitzvah of the holiday. So the story of Hanukkah, about how the Maccabees defeated the evil Greek Assyrian king. Is it Greek or Assyrian? Alexa, was Antiochus Greek or Assyrian?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Wikipedia.org, Antiochus was half Iranian, a distant member of the dynasty III, and half Greek.
So I'll put some information below about Antiochus, but I talk about him in my Hanukkah 101 video, which I'll also link below. But telling the story about how the Maccabees saved the Jewish people is a triumphant and glorious story. But before I do that, speaking of the miracle of Hanukkah, you guys have probably heard that there is a miracle of Hanukkah, a big miracle, but not just that the Maccabees, who are, the fighters of the Jewish people, saved us, but that the oil lasted for 8 days. So the oil in the temple, which lights the menorah that burned there, was only enough for 1 day, but it lasted for 8. And that's sort of the miracle that we tell our kids about why we celebrate this holiday. But my rabbis wrote this beautiful passage about the real meaning and the real miracle of Hanukkah, which I'm going to read to you right now because it's my favorite story quote of Hanukkah of all time, and I want you to hear it. This is probably, I would say, the most important part of the video, so tune in right now. Are you ready? Hanukkah is a time to reaffirm a basic Jewish idea that human beings share God's power in bringing light into the world. Don't fall into the cynicism, the narrow hopelessness that traps people into patterns of inaction, self-absorption, and despair. You have the power to kindle light, to bring redemption. You are descendant of the Maccabees. Your job is to bring light to the darkness. And with that, I will wish you a very happy Hanukkah. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, bing! Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!